Brooke Boone, founder of Holy Yoga, and I have the privilege of doing downward facing dog with you today. And I have an assistant. Check it out. So if you've got the crazy of being in your own home with your animals and your children and all that kind of jazz, it doesn't disqualify you from taking care of business or doing this thing that the Lord's called you to do. Just setting some time aside for Him, just to kind of get connected, find your breath, find just the presence of the Lord with whatever it is that you're doing. And I'm grateful that it's something to do with Holy Yoga. So I have the privilege of teaching you downward facing dog today. So here's what we're gonna do. Go ahead and make your way to all fours, okay? So go ahead and bring your hands or your wrists directly underneath your shoulders and your knees directly underneath your hips. Tops of the feet are just resting to the mat. Making sure for just a moment that you're not sagging through your belly or rounding through your back, but rather finding a neutral position. We're going to take the shoulders away from the ears. So if you find yourself to be a bit like this, what I'd like you to try and do is draw the shoulders down and away, broaden through the heart, melt the heart just a little bit, but zip up the belly, okay? Now, tuck your toes and just begin to lift your hips. Now, downward facing dog can be a little bit uncomfortable, so just taking it one breath at a time. So tucking the toes here and begin to lift the hips towards the ceiling. Now, you may find that you need to keep a nice deep bend in your knees. That's absolutely fine. What's more appropriate is to keep a nice deep bend in the knees, lifting the hips, as opposed to coming forward, straight legs and rounded back. So this is less effective than this. So bending the knees, lifting the hips, and as you start to work into your hamstrings, they tend to be a little bit tight. As you start to work into your hamstrings, you can kind of pedal out the heels, maybe bend the knees and straighten them, just depending on how it feels for you. Now your arms are super important here, so as you push down into the mat, you want to imagine getting as long and strong through your side body as possible. So from the heels of your hands pushing into the mat, you want to lift through the shoulders, shoulders lift through the hips, and then the hips root down through the heels. Now ideally, one day, maybe never, or maybe today, I don't know, you'll get some straight legs and straight arms. Drawing the navel in and slightly up, begin to melt the heart just a little bit more. Good, take a few breaths here and gently relax the crown of the head towards the mat. And just breathe, close your eyes. Nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, bend the knees, come back to all fours, and then just go ahead and set your tail back to your heels. All right, not easy, but super worth it, and you will grow into that pose. Can you imagine, if you're new to the practice, can you imagine that downward facing dog is a resting pose? Because it is, but it's not a resting pose for everybody. So I want you just to take it a breath at a time, a day at a time, and know this: every time you come to your practice, you're a new body, you're a new person, you're a new creation every day because His mercies are new every day. So you just come as simply as you can manage, enter in, and just experience His presence. That's what it's all about anyway. So I hope you're having a great day and practice your downward facing dog. Take care.